They didn't look like a well-rehearsed practice team. When things go right, they're insane.
Malibuca and Merstach are a better team than the Bonfire, and they will do, I think, more with the Grim Gate point.
Malibuca and Merstach have a significantly higher chance of dudding.
There's no way they just spend the whole 12 games uncontested at Grim Gate. That's not happening.
Not one chance.
They play better Fortnite. That's
yeah,
where they play Fortnite correctly. Merstach and Malibuca don't.
And we're just going to basically look at the two teams that are going up against each other, and essentially is who do we think is going to place higher? And then we do that progressively until, in theory, we have the person we all think is going to win FNCS because they're placing higher than everyone else, which is first place. Quezy and Thomas versus Vico and Pink.
Vico and Pink, surely.
I disagree.
Really disagree.
Okay, I think this one's tough, right? If you look at the placements of Vico Ping this weekend, just off of Fortnite track, you know what? They did good. You know, the place was good, the DC consistent, but internally and from what we see from the actual context in the gameplay, they just looked mid. You know, they every single end game, it was either below Surge one game, 300 to 400 mats another game, forcing the issue to where they have to jump in box. And then it ended up being either a Vico solo clutch or a Pink solo clutch in the situation. They didn't look like a well-rehearsed practice team that has a coach. You know, there is very clearly issues with that duo, and there has been issues with that duo for, I feel like, a very long time. But their placements say otherwise because they always have a very good end towards the tournament. You know, they end up winning the last game of the tournament, end up doing well in the last few games of the tournament. So it makes them look a lot better than they are. But Quezy and Thomas are triple contested. So that's, you know, this would have been, you know, not a slam dunk if it was only one team calling Quezy Thomas, I would say.
Yeah, I think like Quezy and Thomas, hate watcher here. I think that they've, as I said, like, it's a completely different story to how they've done opens and round fours and whatever, right? But Vico and Pink, whatever they did throughout this weekend, as you said, the placements were still there. And I think that's actually quite good for them, that even when they play bad, they can grind out results. Like, even if you're saying that you watched them and you felt like they played bad, as you said, you look at Fortnite Tracker, you think they've had an amazing weekend. So that shows there's still more they can get from this weekend for coming up for Grands. I just think they're still in contention to win FNCS. They're going to get forecast more. They are one of the better teams we have on this region. I think Quezy and Thomas being triple contested just leaves too many variables up in the air for me to put them above Vico and Pink.
So in response, you go.
I was just going to say, like, in terms of actual placements, I think we forget how good Vico and Pink's placements in Grands actually are as well. It's like 3rd, 10th at Globals, and then I think like 8th or 5th or something like that. The one before that, like, that is incredibly impressive. Given them an on-con situation, Quezy Thomas triple con. I think it'd be hard to go Quezy and Thomas, to be honest. Yeah.
Vico, in response to what you were saying, Boop, about them, I think what you're saying is fair in terms of, like, the placement papers over the cracks, right? But I don't think they're delusional about that. I think the problem is when a team, like, I think the scary thing is when a team has those good placements, but things don't look good. And then they're like, oh yeah, but we placed really well. I think they're aware of that, right? Like, every conversation I have with Pink to do with, like, their situation, it's never like cocky of like, yeah, man, we're looking. It's like, no, we're trying to figure out Surge shit. And I think that's the thing I noticed the most, where, like, you're right. There were a lot of those end games where they're just getting to end game with nothing, like, in terms of, like, loot. Like, they just look terrible. Mats are terrible. But again, if I'm trying to look on the bright side, I think even in those games where they look really stretched, they still, like, did well. Like, they're going into endgame with, like, 300 builds between them, and they're still, like, getting a top 5. Even that, to me, fills me with confidence of, like, you know, these guys, even if they aren't able to figure out the Surge stuff, I think on the fly, they will do good enough and make micro decisions that are good enough to where they will consistently get to endgame and get something out of it. Plus, you add the fact that either of them can have, like, a crazy solo clutch that just, like, gives them, like, breathing room in terms of, like, leaderboard placements. I think they'll do much better than what you're making it sound like. Based off of what the map looks like right now around them, I'm not confident about what they'll do for Surge still. You know, they were trying a bunch of stuff, but I still think it'll be hard for them.
Yeah.
I'll rebuttal that a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I still think they're placing top 10 100%, right? Like, there's no doubt about my mind.
Okay.
And I do know that Pink and Vico are aware of their issues, and they know that, I don't think they're delusional. I think they would even hate me for saying that they played badly, right? I think they know them themselves. They're very aware of it. They wouldn't, go Thomas HD on me like with Harry in that situation. But it's when things go right, and I think Bloodix said in chat, they're one of the best endgame duos. They are. When things go right, they're insane, and I think they're FNtasia as winners. But when things go wrong, they go very wrong. But then it's made up of the fact that they're both very, very smart. I mean, you didn't say this about Vico. You didn't used to say this about Vico, but nowadays, right? They're both very smart and very talented individual players, to where they're able to cover and bandit those cracks that you just mentioned, Levin, to where, like, it's either, they're getting top 3, or they just kind of flunk out and they have a bit too many solo clutches, and it's maybe like a top 8 or top 9. It's either or. It's just which one is going to show up this weekend? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and yeah, I'm still worried about the whole dead area around them. It is a huge worry for them. But as you touched on, Levin, it's like, I think if the biggest worrying thing is when teams have such good mid games, they get into end game stacked all the time, and then it comes to grand finals, things go wrong, and you don't know what to do.
Right.
Pink and Vico know what to do when things go wrong. They're not going to have. I doubt they're going to have many, unless it's some surge problems. They're probably not going to have many complete 0-point games. They're going to have consistent games, which they're going to consistently make it to endgame. And when they're in endgame, as you said, they are one of the best teams, if not the best endgame team we have right now in the region. And it's hard for me to put Quezy and Thomas above them.
Cool. I'm going to put Vico and Pink through. Let's scroll down. Venio and Taysom versus Swizzy and Vannak. I think I know who I'm putting through.
Vannak Taysom.
Yeah.
I think I'm still going to save some of my off-spawn analysis for the next round with them. But Setty and Cammy versus Chapini.
Can you highlight that?
With or without the 98 Bob? Like, are we including it? So instead, not Cammy and Setty. They are just so good.
Can you highlight that message in chat real quick?
What was the message? What was the message?
I missed it myself.
Of course, it's hard for Harry.
Yeah. Ignore everyone else. It's just me.
Quezy, you wanna jump in there and just like chat to Harry real quick? Yeah. I can send you the link, but you can jump in if you want. Just let me know, but we'll make it happen. All right. Oh wait, no.
You missed the bottom one.
Yeah, my bad. All right, Setty and Cammy versus Chapini. Who do you think is gonna place higher?
Okay.
Just put Setty and Cammy through.
Yeah,
yeah, cool. I thought you guys were gonna do your hipster gimmick again.
No, we're not delusional.
No.
Okay, all right. That's
we
fine.
established this last time we were talking about Chapini.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Merstach and Malibuca versus Vico and Pink. Who places higher?
I think this one's Merstach Malibuca. Just based off of the pop-up, like again, it's a battle of like the inconsistencies, and the more consistent games that Malibuca and Merstach produce over Vico and Pink are going to be the ones where they get 12 to 15 kills. Vico and Pink aren't producing 12 to 15 kills in endgame. They're getting 4 to 5 kill top 5s and top 6s, which I think over a 12-game period, especially with the 1.5 times format, I think plus Grimcorn and improvement we've seen, Merstach Malibuca, I think is a safer pick here. But I could see it either way with Vico and Pink.
The further we're getting into this bracket, the more I'm like, it's Malibuca and Merstach at Grimgate. How can it's literally just Malibuca and Merstach at Grimgate? The fact I even said Mappy and Kero is ridiculous. Now I think about it, it's like it's Merstach and Malibuca at Grimgate. Grimgate comes what Pia Bolt and Poyo have done, and Malibuca and Merstach are a better team than Pia Bolt and Poyo, and they will do, I think, more with the Grimgate coin. I don't know. I think Vico and Pink are in contention, but surely Malibuca and Merstach, you said they have those pop-up games. They're going to get Grimgate. They're going to drop 10, 15 kill games multiple times in this FNCS.
I think like Malibuca and Merstach have a significantly higher chance of dudding and being sub.
Yeah,
it's Vico and Pink though. Like, let's be real.
Okay, if this was who's more likely to not make top 10?
Yeah.
Then it would feel much easier to make a decision because I feel like it's Malibuca and Merstach is very more volatile. The thing I'll throw into the spanner I'll throw into the works of you guys is, does it not concern you that in the games where they did get Grimgate coin, like they looked very lost for Surge. Like it still wasn't like the smoothest games. It's like because I think the thing most people say to you now is, yeah, okay, the Oswald situation doesn't look as messy as it has leading up to Grands. But even when they did get Grimgate coin, it wasn't like complete domination. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't what you were seeing from Peterborough and Poyo and some other teams, other region. Like, it's
not
still
refined at all.
Yeah, it looks tough for them.
How many games do you think Malibuca and Merstach get Grimgate coin in Grands?
8.
Yeah, 6 to 8. Depends on how many people are there, but
let's say it is 8. Do you think 8 games with Grimgate coins can be more than Vico and Pink? Do you think Vico and Pink are going to have 4? Like, I think there's a chance of Vico and Pink, as you said, Boot, multiple times, that they struggle with Surge in 4 or 3 games. It's like, so Vico and Pink 9 games into endgame, or Malibuca, Merstach, Grimgate 8 games not guaranteed into endgame.
Vico Pink also, I guess, have the full attention of BloodX now, because now that Mongo and Savage are out. I don't know how much of a factor that makes, but he'll have him shouting at them if that makes any sort of difference in this conversation. I think it's kind of crazy. We said that Merstach Malibuca better than Peterborough and Poyo. I'm EU biased, but I don't think
that was a resub take. That was a resub take.
I didn't say
that. Resub. It was all you, bro. Yeah, it was all you.
Oh wait, who was it that said that?
That was Harry.
Oh, it was Harry. Oh, okay.
All I'm saying is, Peterborough and Poyo, when the games matter, 330 below Surge. But we'll get on to that later on.
I was a BloodX fan.
Yeah. When the games matter, 330 below Surge. But we'll talk about that in NA. But
I mean, I think Malibuca and Merstach have looked a lot less rehearsed over at Grimgate, to where I don't think that comparison makes much sense so far, but they have had more
I'm just saying they're a better team. They are a better team on paper than
there's a lot of people in the chat who are like, they're uncon. Why do you guys not think they're gonna get that many games with Grimgate? So for one, at least, so they were uncon as of yesterday, but at least the updated map says Finn and Ovalos are landing on them. So then people go, okay, yeah, but those guys are random. So my thing is, cool. Let's say they start landing Grimgate. Then there's no way they just spend the whole 12 games uncontested at Grimgate. That's not happening.
Not one chance.
It's not happening. If you think they will just get Grimgate uncontrolled, the whole season we've all been sat here saying Peterborough and Poyo can't possibly get it uncon all 12 games because look what happens on EU. Why would anyone? So there's no way
that's
now we're gonna
that's
flip.
The aura
right?
Merstach and Malibuca.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way we're now just gonna flip it and go, yeah, of course, Malibuca and Merstach would get it uncon all 12 games.
No, I don't know. I
knowing that they're not great off spawn as well,
right? Like, there's no way that happens.
Unlike Peterborough and Poyo, yeah.
The fact that now that Finn and Ovalo team have now said, actually, we want to land Grimgate when they've not landed it all season, tells you how people are going to be thinking going into Grands. Like, there's no way to get it on all 12 games.
Plus, with Fred and third partying in, and I'm sure they won't be the only team.
No, I agree, but it's Malibuca and Merstach at Grimgate. Like, it just like in my head, it's like, get to grand finals, get the Surge off spawn fighting, get the Grimgate coin. It's like, how can that really go that wrong? Like,
I mean, again, I think, like I said, it either goes right and they place first or second.
Yeah.
I think there's a 0.4% chance they place between 3rd and 10th. Like, I see no way of that happening.
Oh, no, they can place 10th. 2 good games, 10 bad games. Literally just like 2 fucking like 12 kill to 14 kill games. But yeah, I agree. I think
I like that, Reese. It's either they come first or second, or they just not top 10.
Really, yeah. It's like there's not. I don't think there's a conversation. And for me, like, I think Pico. Well, who are we talking about? Who are these guys? Vico Pink, far too consistent to put them below, above them in my eyes.
Who do you think's okay? So consistent, but who do you think is more likely to win though?
I definitely think Merstach Malibuca is more likely to win, no doubt. Yeah. But that doesn't mean I think the chance of that is high.
Yeah. Okay. I can see it. I mean, I did say that I think Vico and Pink are in contention to win. I think they're obviously top. I think they're top 5. It's just, do I think Merstach and Malibuca can just have that pop off of a day where they just top 3?
They can. That's the point. Yeah, but I don't think. I think the likelihood of that is significantly lower than Vico and Pink doing good and placing higher than them. So
I swear we have this discussion not we specifically, but the discussion about Malibuca and Merstach every season, and then they just get there anyways.
They just do it.
So I don't know if I'm guessing a lot of conversations in chat are now just spiraling and unrelated. But I'm seeing a couple of things that are confusing me. So I'm not even going to acknowledge them because I don't want to take things out of context that people are saying. I want to say Malibuca Merstach because it makes sense. But my problem that I've had is just that, again, even the games I've seen them get the Grimgate coin have not been crazy. They like are running around trying to reboot each other because one of them's died and this and that and the other. Like, it's just weird. Like, they're down on Surge and like fucking 7th zone, and I'm like, what's going on here? So I don't know.
I mean, I think on that, the way you have to look at it is like, how are you comparing like how Peterbot and Poyo play it to how they play it? And it's like almost every single game, even if they're fighting off Swan and have their Surge, they confirm more Surge by fighting someone else for a bunker or whatever it is. Whereas Malibuca and Merstach are just not able to do that anywhere near as consistently. Like, they're fighting with the coin is nowhere near as good. Their height plays, they don't play for height most of the time. So it's not as good. So yeah, they have the coin, but they're not using it in the same way as most of the other teams are in the lobby. Hey, maybe it just comes to finals and they're like, we've been fooling you all along. We're a height team. We know how to just jump in everyone's box with this, but like, I don't know. I'm not convinced right now.
Boop, you've been quiet for a bit. I want to get your verdicts.
I think I'm gonna start repeating the same things I've said before. I think what will happen.
Yeah.
I still think Vico and Pink. Yeah, I still think Vico and Pink. It's whether the day works for them. I think Mercer's Malibuca or the better team. So I'm picking Malibuca Merstach.
Okay.
It just depends on how much of a dickhead Fedoxy is, man. That's it. That's Fedoxy, man.
I'm picking Merstach Malibuca as well because I just think that, like, as I said, there's a lot less analysis. I do think Vico and Pink are the better team this season, clearly, but
they play better Fortnite. That's the way I think. They play Fortnite correctly. Mercer's Malibuca don't, but they get away with it because they just get kills and go crazy. You know?
Yeah.
All right, if you enjoyed that was actually part of a full podcast. You can click right here, right there, and you can watch it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you don't watch this, I might fight you.